All right, guys, pictures up.
Pictures up.
Pictures up.
Let's roll sound.
Rolling.
Rolling.
Sound speeds.
Camera speeds. 2. Awesome. Take 2. Mark.
Set. And action.
Welcome to the Penn Cinema Podcast, your behind-the-curtain connection for movie news and reviews. Now here are your hosts, Penn Ketchum and David Moulton.
Welcome to the show. I'm David Moulton.
And I'm Penn Ketchum. What's up?
My dude, welcome back.
Thank you.
the
Good to
East
be
Coast.
home. Good to be home. Yep. The very first thing I did when I got back from Las Vegas
Call me.
was go to Central Market.
Oh, wow.
I thought the perfect antidote to Glitter Gulch.
Yeah. Is Lancaster County tourism.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Got some fresh produce. Got me an Ula Bowl.
You know what the best thing
Went to Mean Cup.
at Lancaster at the Central Market is?
What's that?
Can't even remember the name of the place.
Oh, I know what you're going to say. The great parking situation.
Yeah, it's the parking situation.
Right.
One.
Right.
Right. And 2, it's the walk from the parking situation.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's the milk. The milk people.
The dairy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
strawberry milk.
Ooh.
It's so good. And when they have their eggnog milk.
I tell you, when you said the words, you're going to think I'm kidding, but I'm dead ass. When you said the words strawberry milk, my whole childhood, like all my bells, like all these bells went off that haven't been rung in years.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about strawberry milk, but when I was a kid, this is not special to me. All of us, like kids, love strawberry milk.
Yeah.
Remember they had strawberry Yoo-hoo?
Oh, yeah.
I bet they still do, right?
They probably,
Yeah.
but this is a whole nother level.
Oh, I know.
I mean, their chocolate milk's good too, but strawberry milk.
Now, listen, I have a meeting in downtown Lancaster on
Okay.
Friday at 11 a.m.
Perfect.
Perfect. I'm going early and I'm getting strawberry
You
milk.
get some strawberry milk. Yeah.
And then after my meeting, I'm waiting for the guy to confirm, but I'm supposed to have lunch with this other guy, and I proposed Zootropolis, my favorite lunch spot.
That place is
Yeah,
great.
they are the best.
Yeah.
But I think I could go. You don't want to go into a meeting hungry.
No.
So I hit Central Market at like 10:30, get a strawberry milk and I don't know, something would go with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe while I'm drinking my strawberry milk, I'll call my coach and ask him how come I can't lose weight.
It's protein.
Right.
It's protein.
Man, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
We're going to get into all the details on CinemaCon, but it was, suffice it to say, it was an awesome trip. And the buzz around the show was basically like, this has been one of the best in many years.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
Almost texted you this guy that I follow, Straw Hat Goofy, and I was
Okay.
like, if you see my boy, invite him on the show.
Oh, I wish you would have.
Because his thing was like, I just got out of watching the Disney thing. Like, I got to the hotel room and tell you about it. And so I was getting a lot of the like catch-ups from that.
Yeah.
But while you were out there,
Yeah. Tell me.
something bigger happened here.
Stop it.
Bigger. Better. One might
Go
even
on.
say more beautiful.
Wow.
What if I were to ask you what would be a pinnacle step, like anything in your life, like
Right.
what kind of memorabilia of you
Right.
would make you feel like you had made it?
I mean, obviously, a bobblehead.
A bobblehead.
With me holding a cup of coffee.
Yeah. I mean-
and the coffee should have real liquid in it so that as the head bobbles, it spills.
Splashes out. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
No, I mean, I don't know.
Something for people to trade.
Oh, yeah, like a trading card.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would be, but it's unbelievable. It could never happen.
Nobody would ever.
No, it could never happen.
Nobody would ever release the Penn Cinema Podcast trading card set, including 3 different. I mean, open it up, my man.
Oh, my God. This is the set.
This is the
Oh,
current. The current.
Oh, my
set.
God. I am literally opening trading cards in a beautiful plastic pouch
Yeah.
so as to preserve their... This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
From 103 Custom Cards, find them on Facebook.
Oh my God, 103 custom cards. Is that, how do you know them? Are they Lancaster or you just know them?
I want to tell you, I didn't seek this out.
Yeah.
This happened.
Okay.
And it happened from our number one non-listener.
Shady lady?
No, remember Coldplay, the guy who comes to comes to the live
Yeah,
show
I do.
and doesn't
I do.
listen to the show?
This is a listener, for folks who haven't met him yet, who has listened to the show twice.
Yeah.
And we know it's twice because he's only been when we do live shows.
Right. And that's total.
Although I
twice.
thought we've done 3 live shows.
No, we've done like 4 or 5.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But he's been
He's been to 2 of them.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So what happened? So he reached out to you and
See,
he was
like, I'd make these cards and I would make podcast cards.
oh my
You have any photos? And I was like, well, just so happens.
Just so happens.
We did a photo shoot.
Yes.
And so we have to sign a pack to give back to him.
Okay.
For his collection.
Okay.
And then we have a couple we can randomly give away.
That's amazing.
But I think
Can we purchase some more from him?
we can totally get some.
Yes.
more from him. I think we should, when we do live shows, we have a special collector's card for the live show.
Why do we look so angry? The one of the 2 of us together
We're
makes total sense. We're laughing and pointing at each other.
Yeah.
But then the other 2 look like we're getting ready to pop someone in the face.
I don't know. He just took me like, of all the photos. He took
so
the
you
2.
sent him all the pictures?
I sent him all of them.
Yeah.
And because he's like, I can just make new ones whenever. And he was like, he thought these were funny because they looked like we were challenging each other.
These are great because they're, first of all, they're just great because they're great. Mm-hmm. But also, I forget if we've talked about it on the show or not, but we are redoing our logo. I don't know if I just casually dropped a big piece of news, but we are working with a marketing firm.
Yeah.
And we are Connective right here in Lancaster. I think a lot of people know them.
Yeah.
Mark and the gang. Great guys, great team. When I say guys, I mean that in the most gender neutral sense.
Right. Yeah.
Terrific people. Yeah. Anyway, so these are cool because they include our old logo.
Yeah.
And then by the time we get a next card, hopefully the
logo.
plan is we're going to have fresh. So people who have these originals are going to be like, oh, that's cool. You have Penn Cinema Podcast trading cards, but do you have the original OG logo?
Yeah, come on. Seriously.
So I love our logo.
It is pretty great. But we're getting a new one.
We're getting a new one, and I've been a big boy. I'm trying to let go of the past and evolve and grow.
I mean, I'm excited.
Modernize. And a dear friend of mine who, just great guy, big, huge movie fan, and also very smart individual. I casually mentioned to him that we're redoing our logo. And he goes, oh, thank God.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, what?
Hey, you're not talking the podcast logo, are you?
No. No, but we should revisit the podcast logo because it won't make sense.
Because it's just the theater logo.
The idea of redoing the whole logo is that our current logo is not what you would call versatile. It's hard to
print.
It's hard to put. It only looks good in its current format, and then it's hard to adapt for various uses.
Right.
The marketing lingo, I think, if I remember correctly, that I picked up is it's not a good vehicle for certain mediums.
Right. That reminds me of when we did marketing for the Landcast. We had the L. We had a bunch of different versions of it that fit different sizes.
Yeah. These guys are next level, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
When I picked out our logo, this was 2 years before we ever opened.
Right.
It was just me and Amy and the girls. And there was no investors, there was no partners, there was no nothing. And I paid this local marketing firm, I don't know if it was $100 or $200 or something.
Yeah.
And they gave me a big, gigantic art sheet with 9 logos, or maybe it was 12 logos or 6 or something like that. And they were like, which one do you like the best? And there's a great picture of 6-year-old Marley holding the sheet, and all of us pointing to which one we liked. And this was one of them. And now it turns out it's time to evolve. It served us well for 17 years. It was the best $200 we spent. So now this next level, what we're doing is, it's a deep dive. We met with these people 2 or 3 times before we even started on a logo, trying to understand our business and where we use the logos and where we use our brand. I say we're redoing our logo, but really what we're doing is trying to do a brand refresh.
And that's when you've hit good marketing people.
Yeah.
When they don't just start throwing ideas at you.
Yeah.
They're just let's just figure out who you are
Yeah.
first.
You also know they're good people when it's hard to get started because first you have to hear everybody's stories about when they were at Star Wars opening night
Right.
and what they thought of the Harry Potter and IMAX and what they thought of Dune. Like they're all like, not that I looked for that when we were searching for a marketing team. I definitely was not looking for that. I picked them because they're the best professional team that I felt comfortable working with. But once we got started down the road, it was like, oh, well, every single person at the table was at the Dune premiere. You know what I mean? And they were all here. We got the pictures of opening night from Star Wars on the wall, and they were all looking at them going, oh, I was here. It was cool. So anyway, these Penn Cinema Podcast trading cards.
Yeah. Could be
One
the new
for
thing.
Penn, one for David, and then a joint one.
Yeah.
This
the
is
versus card.
This is the ticket, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
I said this would have been good during our big Avengers competition.
Yeah.
Who
Oh,
do you
yes.
support?
When are we going to what?
We have to come up with another one.
There's a lot of good content coming out in the next year or so, and I don't think we have anything quite as head to head as Star Wars and Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
But we got some big titles competing with each other. For example, Wicked going up against Gladiator. Captain America, Brave New World,
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Well, let's. Am
I getting ahead of myself?
You're kind of getting into cinema.
Okay, so for those of you just cluing in, I had the good fortune of attending CinemaCon this year out in Las Vegas. It was hosted at Caesar's Palace, which is home of The Hangover, and it's great because when you check into the hotel, you literally stand at that desk where
and you live the hangover.
you live the Hangover life. You get off the airplane, you get in a cab, you get in the hotel, and then you don't see daylight again until it's time to take a taxi back to.
You stay in the building the whole time.
Literally.
Wow.
There were 2 times I was there for a week, a business week, but still a week, and I left the inside of the hotel twice briefly. Once was because I had a breakfast meeting across the street at the Bellagio, so I had to go from one
that's
exit
fancy.
door, cross the street into another casino.
No.
Yeah, it's true.
No.
And then another time there was a party in the evening around the Caesar pool. So we were technically outdoors then, but we were still within the confines of the casino.
Did you fall in?
It was funny because me and my little gang were the last people. Like we literally closed it out.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So we had like the wait staff was like hurrying us along, like pushing us, like trying to fold up the table that we were sitting at and stuff. And I did remark to Marley, I said, I'm pretty impressed that out of all these, I don't know how many thousands or hundreds of people were at that party, and it was all open bars, Nobody fell in. Nobody fell in and nobody jumped in.
Missed opportunity.
Missed
both
opportunity.
sides. Both times.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the actual meat of the matter. So I know people are always interested in like what my experience is at cinema, like behind the scenes. So I have a few objectives when I go to CinemaCon. The main number one objective is to, and this is what I'll talk about on the show, is to go to attend the studio slate presentations. So they present what's called a slate, which is like, hey, here's 5 or 10 or 15 titles that we're excited about in the next year, next 12 months or more. And it's always a little bit of, you got to like sort of get through the fluff because there's always like a rah, this is why we're the best studio. And, we always tease the studios because every single studio gets up and says, in 2023, we were the best ever, and this was the best year ever for movie studios and for the movie business, and next year is going to be even better. And they say that every single year. Like, if all you knew about the movie business is what you heard at CinemaCon, you would think it was a straight line.
It never went down.
No dips, no cycles, no off months,
Right.
Just nothing but gold.
Pure profit
That's
all
it.
the time.
Right, absolutely. Never an issue.
Yeah.
No writer strikes, no acting strikes, no COVID, nothing. So my main agenda, the primary thing you do is not only to see the studio slates, which I'll get into in a second, but also then to connect, in my case, with the studio reps. So I take the opportunity to meet with, and I try to prioritize, because we've talked about it on this show before, there's reps that I deal with, well, all the studios I deal with one particular rep each week. Some of those reps I've had for a long time and I know them really well. Some of them might be brand new, so it's, and you always want to sort of invest in that relationship and, sort of, reestablish like, oh yeah, I like you. You're a decent person. And so am I. And, let's not be jerks on Monday morning, Maybe. So my big agenda is connecting with the studios as far as their content and also as far as the relationships that I personally have with them. The other big agenda on my mind is going to the trade show and looking at equipment. And this is especially relevant because, in all three locations, but specifically Lidditz, we're looking to sort of expand, I say that in the most delicate sense, expand our menu. We're not going to be a dine-in theater. We're not kind of trying to cross lines and become something that we're not. But we do think we can do a better job of offering a wider selection and dare I say, a better selection. And this is really... the partners are all 100% on board, but I got to give credit to Drew Schaefer, who's really holding our feet to the fire in terms of like, hey, we got to keep, we got to keep moving forward on this because it's something we've been talking about. Honestly, right before COVID, we started talking a lot about it. And then coming out of COVID, we were talking. And anyway, we never had the money to do it because we were, first of all, not doing business. And then second of all, as we started doing business again, we started spending all of our money on fun things like HVAC units and, repairing the...
Oh, the fun things.
Right. We spent, I don't want to lie. I don't want to mislead anyone, but I think if I remember correctly, the number was $400,000 on equipment and expenses that were vital just in Lidditz that are unseen and untouched by the customers.
Just to keep it going.
This is coming out of COVID. I'm saying like in 21, 22 in that period. So now we're sort of like, okay, we got the building pretty much stabilized. And so we're fully committed. So I had a big agenda in that. And just a sort of a specific example, we were trying to, I was sent there from my team with the instructions to get a handle on what's called auto fryers. Have you ever heard of an auto fryer? This is a machine that can fry food, like real fried, like hot oil, like fry food, but it's not a traditional open fryer, where you dip a basket, into the boiling water. There's some other, secret method.
And then it pops out the bottom, right?
Yeah, something
you
like
that. You see them at Sheetz and Wawa and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they are ubiquitous. I mean, I talk to every single person I talk to. So I'll give my team the answer on the podcast.
Whoa.
Every single person I talked to was like, oh yeah, they work great. They're so much better than a traditional fryer. We've had them for X number of years and we've never had a problem with them. The one guy said to me, my only problem is I wish I had more.
I mean, they must, considering that you see them, I mean, once you know what they are, you see them at Rudders or Sheetz and it's literally, they just, the employee just, whatever it is, they put it in the top and then they press the button for whatever it is. And then it just pops out the bottom.
And that's why we like them because I do believe, and what I'm hearing, and this is really important to me, is that they're a lot safer for our kids.
Yeah.
The people who are operating them, you don't have to be 18 to operate them, and they're safer for anybody.
Yeah.
So then the third objective that I have studios, and then I have trade show, and then the third objective I have, which is my favorite, is like mystery door number 3. Like just leaving yourself open to what might pop up that you hadn't expected. So, for example, I attended a panel from a USC, a professor of marketing and data at University of Southern California. I forget her name. I wrote it down. I have notes. She did an incredible presentation on tracking data of so you own a business and you serve your customers, and what are you doing with the data that you collect, And she got everybody's attention because she said, tracking data is like teenage sex. Everybody's talking about it because everybody thinks that everybody else is doing it. Not very many people are actually doing it. And the ones who are doing it wrong. And I just thought that was like spot on.
I feel hurt.
Yeah. right. So it was, she put on a fascinating presentation, and I feel like I learned a lot from that. And that's what I mean, like mystery door number 3. I didn't really, I wasn't going to Vegas to plan to go see her presentation, but I saw it on the agenda. I had an open window and I went to it. And I was really glad I did, and I learned a lot. And I found her later in the week and introduced myself and made a connection. And, now I have a friend at USC that knows a lot about data that I can sort of bounce ideas off and get help from. And same with, there were a variety of other topics. I met all kinds of different people that are in different lines of work. I met a guy in the family entertainment center business. That's like when you do bowling. Think Dave & Buster's, like that type of model. And it was really fascinating to pick his brain, talk to him about the movie business. But so that was sort of not behind the scenes, but that was the business, that was being conducted at the convention.
I stand by my idea for mini golf between the IMAX and here.
Yeah.
Like in that stretch there, either A, you make it a connected building and you do a 2-story indoor mini golf, or just an outdoor. I'm just saying, if you're looking for an investor who has no money, who has an idea.
Wait, with no money?
With no money.
You mean very little?
Little to no money.
Little to no money. Okay, I'm listening.
Big ideas and willing to work for them. And also runs a podcast in the building right next door.
Okay.
It's me.
You're scratching what I'm itching.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can get this mini golf thing off the ground.
Well, David, spoiler alert.
Oh, man.
You're not wrong.
Right.
I mean, I met with this guy and I came home with a head full of ideas. I think it's safe to say that my head was spinning. I met with him Thursday afternoon and went to dinner with Marley and just vomited all, my head was literally spinning with ideas and just that ideas
of getting people on the property for something. The longer they're here, the more likely they are to do more things. You got the restaurant.
No, you're absolutely right, but it's even bigger than that. It's what if the movie theater was like, I love that place out on Airport Road. There's also a movie theater there.
Right.
Like now that's when That's the ticket.
Boom.
Yeah.
Shakalaka.
Yeah.
As they say.
Right. So anyway, that was a lot of what was going on out there. It was
awesome.
really exciting. I will say it was the busiest week at CinemaCon that I've ever had. I brought my bathing suit. I did not go out to the pool once.
But you wore it
I
every
brought
day.
my gym clothes. I did not work out once.
Wow.
I didn't even nothing. I was packed wall to wall to wall. And then I got home and was dead to the world and went to bed 7:30 at night. Woke up the next morning at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
12 and a half hours sleep. I was that tired.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right,
Let's talk about some of the stuff you saw.
Yeah, so getting into it, I guess I'll start at the bottom of my list with the 2 feature films that we saw. The Fall Guy from Universal, which I'm not allowed to comment on. All I can tell you is that I saw it.
Okay.
If I was allowed to say anything, it probably would be, I'm not allowed to tell you that I thought it was awesome and incredible.
Or that it was horrible. You didn't like it.
I mean, I guess, but we didn't really touch on that.
Right.
Because it didn't
you didn't
come
ask
up.
if you could.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I got you. I understand now.
Yeah.
I get what you're...
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling is... him and Emily Blunt, and you saw this from the trailer, so I'm not really talking out of school. They just have that incredible. I think I can safely say the movie lives up to everything you hoped that you hope it will be, and it comes out in a couple weeks on May 3rd. Another movie that we were not quite as limited on, Neon.
Oh yeah.
Neon snuck in a screening of Babes. Do you remember watching the trailer together? Mm-hmm. This movie, Marley and I watched it, and I was screaming laughing. It was the kind of movie you miss some of the lines
because you're laughing.
Because everybody and yourself are still laughing from what they just said a second ago.
Okay.
It was legit. And the only thing that's going to keep this from being a $50 million opening is the fact that it's not as polished as Bridesmaids. It doesn't have the star power. I don't know what kind of marketing budget Neon's going to put behind it.
Right.
But I am going to book it at all 3 locations. And if you are listening to the show and you like a good, real comedy, the movie is a real comedy. And when I say real comedy, what I mean is that it's truly a comic movie, but also it's very real. The characters are very, very real. I loved everything about it. Sort of the perfect balance of all things.
Nice.
So then we saw a ton of trailers and content. We saw the first 35 minutes of Inside Out. We saw an extended clip from Planet of the Apes. We saw a ton of trailers. We saw, I forget if it was a clip or a trailer for Transformers 1.
That's That's the animated one?
Yeah. Did we
Yeah.
talk about this?
No, but I mean,
I was skeptical about this.
Okay.
I forget if we watched a trailer or if I just saw it on a release date or something. And I saw that, Paramount was presenting about it, and I was like, whatever. But, I'm here, so I watched it. By the time the presentation was over, I was 100% on board.
Nice.
This movie is going to be great. Now, don't get me wrong; it's for kids, for kids and us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's definitely like I would say, even compared to the live action Transformers, it's clearly a younger track.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it stood out to me as one of the big pleasant surprises of the week. It comes out in September, which I think is a perfect release date for it. It's big enough and has an established enough brand that families will know what it is, but it's not going to try to compete with Inside Out 2 or Despicable Me or anything along those lines. And then another one that stood out to me was Wicked. Universal put on this great, crazy presentation.
That's not all that we had from Transformers news.
Oh, talk to me.
That they also said there's another live action movie coming. And they confirmed Transformers and G.I. Joe movie is definitely happening.
What did you think about that?
I'm more excited for the cartoon.
Me too.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe is my number one most disappointing franchise of all time.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, without question.
But remember when the last Transformers, and I was so hyped up because they teased the G.I. Joe connection?
Yeah.
And then I realized that was the only part of the movie I actually liked.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, whatever. Like, I'm excited for Transformers 1. I'll just take one show at a time, and hopefully, something will come along. And yeah, I forgot to mention that, but yes, they did announce Transformers G.I. Joe, and the audience gasped and applauded, and was excited, and I was kind of staring at the screen, going, "Oh my God, I thought we were done with G.I. Joe."
Never done with G.I. Joe.
Never done with G.I. Joe.
Yeah. So Wicked.
Universal put on this great presentation. They gave everybody lights. It's hard to describe, but it was a plastic tulip that lit up, and all the tulips in the whole auditorium. So I want to say it might be 1,000 people, it might be 2,000 people, but it's a massive screen. It's the Coliseum there in Caesars. I'm sure some people listening have seen shows there. And so they all light up coordinated, it's like remote. It was just super cool. And Ariana Grande, and who's her co-star? Is it Ayo?
Oh, I don't know.
I forget her name. I'm embarrassed that I forgot to look it up. But they came out and did a presentation about it, and it was just, their passion for the show. And also, I forget if it was the guy who wrote it or directed it, but one of them talked about his history. It's fascinating when you talk to directors or producers who sort of tell you the backstory of their involvement with a movie. And these guys are like, I got this book 20 years ago, or I'm making that up, but some crazy number of years ago, and I knew it needed to be a movie. And then it turns out like, oh, well, somebody talked me into making it a Broadway show first. So this is not a Broadway show that they're making into a movie. This is a book that was originally intended to be adapted for screen, but before then it was adapted for the Broadway. So it's like, I just feel like the history is the journey this movie has been on to come to the big screen is rich, and well thought out. And I just think this movie's going to kill. It's going to be huge. Another one that stuck out to me, and I don't know why this was like pleasantly surprising to me. Maybe it's because I forgot, Loki taught us on Disney Plus. Loki taught us about the Time Variance Authority, and something else. What was the one? Was it Winter Soldier that where Anthony Mackie took over as Captain America? What was the series?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? And if you recall, when we were watching those series, I was totally into them,
right?
And really enthused about it. And I think I made comments about how smart I thought it was of Disney to tie in, supporting it was a perfect example of a company using their streaming platform to support the theatrical, not competing with, but supporting and building that fan base. And I think, and unless I'm overlooking something, I think Captain America: Brave New World, which opens in February, of 25, but that's less than a year away, by the way. I think this is the first really solid example of the Disney Plus content really coming out and setting the table for, a proper Marvel movie.
I mean, but Deadpool's first.
But what did we do on Disney Plus with Deadpool?
But the time variance is introduced in Loki.
Okay, and is that relevant in Deadpool?
I mean, have you seen the trailers?
Yeah. Okay.
where the time variants come after him and then recruit him and then show him all the different.
Yep.
So yes.
Okay, so you're saying it. Yeah. No, you're reminding me that. Yeah. Okay. So the two best movies,
right,
Deadpool and Captain America, both tie back to Disney Plus.
Right.
So I knew that. So let's move on to Deadpool, Wolverine. We knew that Deadpool was going to be amazing, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's all I'm saying about Captain America is that Anthony Mackie came out and presented it. And I think Kevin Feige was the guy who presented Anthony Mackie. And like the whole team was there and it freaking looks amazing. Like I'm so excited for it. I can hardly sit still. The only reason why so the next on my list is Deadpool Wolverine. And the only reason why that wasn't sort of at the very top of my list is because I knew I was already hyped.
Right.
It's like.
Now, have you seen the popcorn cups?
No. What am I missing?
They let Ryan Reynolds design them to be lewder than.
Oh God.
And they're like Deadpool and Wolverine's heads, but then like a circle where the mouth is. That's where the popcorn comes out.
Great.
I know. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Another pleasant surprise was the entire cast of Beetlejuice came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Michael Keaton, Catherine, what's-her-face, Willem Dafoe, which I was shouting. I was like pretty close to him because me and Marley were sitting up front and I was like, your name's William, isn't it? But he ignored me, much
what?
like Jason Statham. Yeah.
Rude.
Beetlejuice looked really cool. I mean, it's always fun to hear the cast, describe how fun it was. And of course, they're going to say that.
Right.
But something about the vibe of this group, and Tim Burton was with them. He was there. And something about the vibe of seeing them in real life, in person, interacting, it felt really genuine. Like you could really feel that this was a team that had fun working together and was excited about it.
That's cool.
Gladiator 2. So the main studio executive people come out on stage. Like that's how they start their slate, right? So Warner Brothers started their slate with a pair of executives, and they came out dressed in Beetlejuice suits, black and white striped Beetlejuice with the big wig, and that was funny. It's like, okay, whatever. Last year they came out fully dressed in pink suits to promote Barbie, and this year they came out dressed as Beetlejuice. And then I forget, there was another like snazzy introduction, but I forget what it was. But then on the last day, Paramount comes out, and the studio executive in Paramount came out, no lie, came out through the audience with at least 100 gladiators paired row by row, marching in with him in the back in one of those gladiator carts with the wheels, and a couple gladiators like wheeling him in. And I mean, it was a spectacle. It was insane. And this is another thing, like just to help paint the context. You go into these studio slates and they're completely obnoxious about no pictures. Like I get you're releasing content here, and that I understand. But like, I would love to have had a picture of that studio executive. I forget his name, but Chris Aronson, I think is the executive from Paramount. And anyway, so it was a great. It was like a super fun, hyped up, entrance into the auditorium. So that was cool. Also, Disney showed extended footage from Alien Romulus, which I thought of you when I was watching it, because didn't I like a little bit badmouth the trailer?
You were like, oh, it looks like it's handmade.
Yeah, I was kind of poo-pooing it, and I would like to take back everything I said.
Okay.
Because it looks pretty good.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, they showed a little bit of Gladiator too, didn't they?
They did.
And I heard from Straw Hat Goofy, who was there, who was like, it was nothing. I wasn't really into this, but now I'm totally on board.
Interesting.
So...
I would say that I was super psyched for it. I saw the content, and I'm still super psyched for it.
Okay.
It didn't really move my needle one way or the other. But yeah, it looked cool. And then M. Night's daughter was there supporting the Watchers M. Night was also there, but I forget what he was supporting.
Was he? Because I have a feeling at the end, M. Night's daughter's going to take off a mask and be like, I was M. Night the whole time.
Oh my God. Well, that would be a pretty neat trick. Having seen her in person, I can assure you that it was not M. Night because she is wicked tall and wicked skinny. Like she's one of these super thin people.
Whoa.
And M. Night is not. He's regular sized.
What?
Right.
Fun size.
Right. He's regular sized. So anyway, I mean, that's kind of my report. There was lots of other content. And I apologize if I'm overlooking anybody. A24 didn't have any official presentations. There was another, like I said, about the data panel. Another panel that I went to that was really interesting was Neon and Focus sat on a panel with two other exhibitors, or I should say two exhibitors, talking about promoting middle market movies, and the importance to the business of supporting, the not necessarily blockbuster titles. And it was a really interesting discussion. The only thing I would say that it's kind of like preaching to the choir. Like they weren't saying anything that we all didn't already know.
Right.
Although there were some interesting comments about things. The exhibitors made interesting comments about what things that they do to promote middle market movies. And one of the things that they requested of the studios during right there in front of everybody during the panel was, hey, get us a lot of times I go to a screening and it's a couple weeks before the movie. And the tickets have already been on sale for a month. And, by then you're sort of like, the movie is going to be what it is. Whereas if the screening could have been a month earlier or even as early as possible, then it's going to get me informed about some of the, ideas of the movie and be able to do a better job promoting it. And, even if you can think of some creative gimmicks, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
So there were some interesting comments, but otherwise it was kind of like preaching to the choir, to be honest. That's sort of the details.
Well, two other things I heard.
Yeah.
Was Chris Farley biopic is in the works.
I missed that. I don't know what studio is that.
Well, maybe that wasn't announced there, but it was on.
It was announced online.
It was an online thing.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think it's about time.
I mean, any other details about that? Like what studio or who?
They had the actor that's going to be playing him, but I didn't know who he was. I forgot to write it down.
Yeah.
And the other big one out of CinemaCon was there's a live action R-rated adaptation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin in the works. So
Interesting.
The Last Ronin is a great story about. It starts off, you don't know which turtle it is, but all the other three turtles are dead, and he's on the remaining one's on a mission to get revenge, and it's slowly revealed how each turtle died.
Is this trying to be a like a kids movie or a comedy, or is this like an R?
It's R-rated.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's
it's
because Last Ronin has its own mythology to it, doesn't it?
Right. It's totally separate. It's like a perceived future of the turtles.
Gotcha.
The three of them were killed.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil who the last one is, but the last one's kind of been away and is now returning to get revenge.
Okay.
So
I forgot one. Aziz Ansari was there to promote his movie, which I think he did more than just star in it. I think he wrote it and directed it. He had some, maybe he was executive producer, but anyways, his movie is called Good Fortune.
Okay.
And it stars him and Seth Rogen.
Nice.
And they showed, I apologize. I forget if they showed a clip or a trailer, but it looks amazing and it's going to be really, really funny. The premise is Aziz is like a poor man, or not a poor man, but just a regular schmo. And then he like makes a wish or something happens and he switches places with Seth Rogen, who's like a multimillionaire, big shot, fancy celebrity. But then and Keanu Reeves plays the angel that switches them.
Oh, really?
But then through some mistake, Keanu like messes up and can't unswitch them. But he switches them. So now Aziz is the rich and famous guy and Seth Rogen's the working schmuck. But, Keanu messes up and makes them both aware, like cognizant that the switch happened.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It was kind of like the Christmas Story where there's like, the different ghosts, but in the Christmas Story, nobody knows, that it's an alternate timeline. Now in this movie, all three of them are now aware that this switch happened and it was the angel's fault. And Aziz is like, I don't want to switch back. Seth Rogen's like, well, yeah, we're switching back. And it just looks, and these guys are so smart. It's going to be a really. I think I'm not saying it's going to be like a blockbuster like The Hangover or anything like that, but it just looks like when more information comes out about it, I'm going to be psyched to see it.
Aziz Ansari, he can write really good.
Yes, he's a smart dude.
Yeah.
So smart.
Comedy and even drama. Master of None was great, that show that he did.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, well, that's all the news that's fit to print. Boom.
That was a little skywriting.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. Well, of course,
Let's bring it down.
trailers ahoy.
Ahoy.
My friend. Yeah, the trailers, they came pulling in.
Oh my God.
And we got a bunch. Let's start at the top.
Joker, a folie à deux.
Yeah. Because I have a very clear, to me, winner this week.
But it's not Joker.
No, this is probably my least liked trailer.
Okay, I have a trailer of the week, but I disagree with you. I thought Joker Folie à Deux trailer is amazing. The shot where he's through the glass and then he adjusts his face to line up his smile with the lipstick that she had drawn on his face. I mean, that's a shot you'll never forget. That is an iconic. To me, that's Heath Ledger upside down's monologue in The Dark Knight. Like, that's a moment on film. That's Joaquin Phoenix dancing down the steps. Like, that is an iconic moment in film that you will never forget.
I will say I watched this twice. I watched it when it came out, like right away, and then I watched it yesterday. When I watched it the second time, I was much more interested in it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Watching it the first time, I was like, oh man, this looks so bad. And then the comments online were pretty much on par with people hating it.
No.
Yeah.
No, they're wrong.
Well, I mean, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, it could really work with his style. The style of film doesn't really transfer into a trailer very well. I think that's the issue.
That could be. I think this movie is going to be incredible. The thing that has me most excited about it is Lady Gaga.
The singing and dancing, I think, is going to
Yes.
turn a lot of people off.
It's going to turn me on. I mean, I think that's a great because knowing Todd Phillips and knowing Joaquin Phoenix and knowing Lady Gaga, how smart they are, how creative they are. Like, I think that if you're going to allow yourself to be talked out of this movie, you're not the audience anyway.
I'm just saying they accidentally caught the Hot Topic crowd, and now they're not going to keep them.
Was that a Hot Topic joke?
It was.
Is that a joke or a comment?
It was a comment.
Yeah, I don't think that counts as a joke.
Well, I mean, it counts as a dig.
I don't want what's his face to get his panties in a bunch.
I did mention it.
But the abacus?
It wasn't.
It was a mention.
Joke.
But
did he mention?
Let the record reflect. This was
Hot Topic?
This was a mention, not a joke. Are you going to try to?
Kind of falls in the same line. It depends on who you are. If you're a Hot Topic person, it's not a joke.
The Hot Topic people are
Outraged.
dead ass serious.
Yeah.
This is no joke.
Yeah, to them, there's only two cards.
Do not mess with Hot
In the
Topic.
Penn Cinema Podcast card collection. There's not a David one.
This is no joke.
Yeah. Serious business and always serious
Right,
business.
at the Hot Topic at your
That's
local
right.
on sale 60% off this week only.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this trailer. You see
Which trailer?
Joker Folie à Deux.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we see Joker and Harley Quinn. They're both might be in the system together.
Looks like it.
Maybe not, which is a lot different than her normal origin, where she is a therapist that, in helping him, becomes like catches his mental sickness.
You know who's low key my favorite director in Hollywood? Todd Phillips.
Really?
I think he's the most under, and I include myself as being guilty of this. He's the most, like, when I think of great directors, I always forget him. But I mean, to be able to do The Hangover and The Joker, just to name his two most famous,
Right.
you know, he's a really
Yeah.
makes good movies.
I will say about this trailer is I haven't seen Joker since it was in theaters. I haven't been able to stomach watching it again.
I was just going to say the same thing.
But this trailer made me want to watch it again.
I've pulled it up a couple times on HBO and then been like, ugh, it's so heavy.
Yeah. Not that it's not. I'm not saying it's bad. It's it's just so much.
I completely
And it
agree with
sticks
you.
you.
I completely agree with you. It's very alarming.
Yeah. All right. Next trailer is Maxine with 3 X's. And this is part of the Maxine trilogy. It's the third one in the trilogy. We had what was the first one called? The second one was called Pearl,
Oh, right.
and then this one,
Yeah.
where it's the same actress playing
Yep.
like
Yep.
a different type of role in each one, and they're somehow connected.
This is my trailer of the week.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Straight up horror.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah. I'm a big boy now, David.
So why is it your trailer of the
Why?
week?
Why, David? Why?
Why?
Why? David, I leaned over to Marley halfway through CinemaCon and I was like, oh my God, another
to pee.
fucking horror movie. Like, it was every single studio. Lionsgate felt like it was entirely horror, you know, and every single studio had horror movies, including Disney.
Yeah.
You know, it was stunning. And I guess people feel like that sells movie tickets, which, I mean, it does, but Jesus.
Yeah.
I was kind of over it. All right. This movie was my trailer of the week, or this trailer was my trailer of the week because, like, I want to see Joker more than I want to see Maxine. I want to see Fly Me to the Moon more than I want to see either one of those. But this trailer, Maxine, to be completely candid and transparent, I was turned off by the triple X in the name. That felt cheesy to me. But
It's about porn.
oh, that's the deal?
Triple X?
Yeah, I missed that. I didn't pick up on that.
She's a porn actress.
I picked up on, but I didn't connect the being an adult film star with the triple X. I didn't pick up on that. But anyway,
You've never heard of it before.
right.
That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what hooked me on this trailer when I like sat up and paid like, oh my God, this is really good, is when she's in the videos. First of all, I love the fact that it takes place in 1985. I love the soundtrack on the trailer. And I love the scene where she's in the video store with the VHS and he says something like, name an A-list. He's trying to talk her out of doing a horror movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, name an A-list actress that got their start in horror. And she's like, bam, this one, that one, the next one, the next, like she lists all these like iconic legendary actresses who got their start, Jamie Lee Curtis, you know, who got their start in a slasher pick, you know, and that just made me feel like her delivery of that line, and because the last one that she named was Maxine.
Yeah.
Like herself. And I just like, it reminded me of, remember how much I loved, what was that movie with Margot Robbie that took place in old Hollywood
Oh, yeah.
that everybody hated except for me?
Yeah.
And the last 5 minutes of it, I said, was one of the most iconic moments in cinema. It kind of reminded me of like a little vibe of that. Not how it looked or how it sounded. It's completely different looking sounding movie, but it had just a little bit of self-awareness as it relates to, you know, the horror and the movie business.
Of these 3 films, this is the one that I think is most appealing.
Yeah.
Sure.
I maybe the fact that you're connecting it to the rest of the trilogy dampened your enthusiasm for the trailer, because I watched the trailer. I didn't pick up on the triple X in the title. I didn't pick up on the fact that it was a trilogy related to Pearl. So I really watched it without any baggage. You know, It's great having a terrible memory.
Perfect.
Everything's
Everything's new.
It's a new experience.
Everything's new.
And this new movie looks amazing.
All right, next up we have Speak No Evil starring James McAvoy.
Which I saw this trailer in Vegas.
This is creepy.
Freaky.
Yeah. Got two families meet on vacation. It looks like they meet up more than once on vacation, and they decide that the one family visits the other, and then the other family is like, hey, why don't you come visit us? But then when they do, it's really weird, and no one lives in the town around them, and the son never talks. But then turns out the son doesn't have a tongue.
But the son like screams without making a noise.
Right.
I have zero interest in seeing this movie.
I don't really.
Even though people who are into this genre are gonna love it.
James McAvoy's like split personality, super nice and then super abusive.
Yeah. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I don't really care to see this. Even though James McAvoy's one of my top 3 actors.
Fly me to the moon.
This is my trailer of the week.
It should be. This is the best trailer on the list.
We got Channing Tatum, and why do I want to just call her Natasha?
Yep.
Black Widow.
Scarlett
Johansson. And it's all about
and a variety of other sort of smaller roles played by pretty famous. I'm blanking on their names, but
character
a
actors.
Great cast.
And the whole idea is that NASA's not marketable during the space race.
Kevin Bacon's in it.
So they're bringing in...
No, he's in Maxine, sorry.
They're bringing in Scarlett Johansson to market NASA to the people.
Right.
And then it gets a little testy. They're like, well, what if we don't make it? We need to have a fake one to show, just in case.
Right. Do you remember that song from REM?
Yeah.
If You Believe, They Put a Man on the Moon?
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. And a friend of mine, who's no longer with us, explained to me that there was a conspiracy theory that...
Did he leave the building? Or?
He left the building.
Okay.
He left the great building in the sky. That there was a population of people who believed the moon landing was faked.
There still is.
I had to have that explained to me. This was 20 years ago, or whenever that REM song came out. And so they had to explain to me that there was these people who think the moon landing was fake.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was like the best thing ever.
That people believe that?
Yeah. Yeah, like good for you. Like
there still is.
I know. And so what do you think the point of this movie is? Like, is this movie poking fun at those people? Like, if the conspiracy theory was true, here's how it would have played out.
Right. I think it's one of those things with, like, I think it's gonna, at the end of it's gonna be like, well, they made it to the moon, but they also did this thing.
Right.
So, like, that's what the theories are based off of. The fact that what I like is that the scientists and stuff aren't camera friendly, so they get other people to play them on camera.
And the astronauts. Yeah.
So they have these people who have to pretend to be these other people for the rest of their lives. Yeah, that's pretty great.
Everything about this movie is great. I don't know why I didn't pick it as my trailer of the week, but this movie is going to get the full Sony support. It comes out July 11th, you know, right up against Despicable Me and some of the big summer titles. But I think this movie is going to crush it. I think it's going to be very popular with the 20s and over crowd. But even the younger, like the people in their early 20s that are into conspiracy theories and want to have fun I think the team that makes this movie should make another movie about like the flat earthers. Like, okay, the world is flat.
Yeah.
Here's how they fool people into thinking it's round. You know, like let's explore that one.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, sure. Let's go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't understand how crazy people are.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Okay.
Speaking as someone who has his name on a trading card.
Oh, that's true.
I think I'm qualified to say I completely get the crazy, the level of insanity out there.
Okay, good point.
I love it.
Last movie trailer we have is Young Women and the Sea. Young Woman and the Sea, starring Daisy Ridley.
Is this the Naiad movie that's currently out on streaming?
Naiad?
It's not, but I'm making a point that like all of a sudden there's swimming movies everywhere I look.
And no one swam as much as you, so it doesn't matter.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
Not anymore. Did you know I'm retired from swimming?
I heard about that.
Yeah. The other day, the thought crossed my mind. The other day, a thought crossed my mind that I would go to the rec center and swim.
See what you could do.
Right. And, first of all, I did not go, and a big part of the reason why I couldn't go is why I didn't go is because I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember where my suit was.
It was in your suit bag. It was in your suitcase. You took it to Vegas.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it said, "Young Woman in the Sea." The best part of this movie is that it stars Daisy Ridley. This is going to open in Theater 1 in Lidditz for the older crowd.
Yeah.
And it's going to do great Monday to Thursday. You know, it's I mean,
Yeah. It's a small audience.
this is a small audience. It looked like a very well-made movie, and I'm sure it's terrific, but it did not get a rousing ovation at CinemaCon, and it did not get a rousing ovation from Penn.
This is a movie that I would never have heard of as a child, but then Sunday night the Disney guy would come out and be like, "Do we have a movie for you?"
Right.
You know, when they used to do the Sunday night movies.
Yeah.
And this would be one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
And the whole family would watch it and be like, "Wasn't that interesting?" And they'd never talk about it again.
Right. Right.
All right, so trailers of the
Just
week.
like us.
Yeah, just like us. Trailers of the week, we have Maxine and Fly Me to the Moon.
But mostly Fly Me to the Moon. I just got such a kick out of the Maxine trailer.
It's not a bad trailer. It's good.
I got a real kick out of it. But
Yeah.
Fly Me to the Moon is definitely the better movie and the better trailer. But I'm standing by Maxine just because, like I said, I got a kick out of it.
Cool. All right, well, let's get into our movie review this week.
Oh, yeah, we better get to that.
Yeah, Civil War.
A24's first foray into big mainstream commercial movies.
And it's their biggest opening ever.
Yep, success. Check the
Success.
box.
Yeah, which is crazy because I heard it wasn't doing so great.
It's doing okay. I think that it drew an unlucky card in the fact that the weather in the Northeast has been gorgeous. Like today, Sunday, like I walked in here and I said to the kid at the chopper, I said, you know, it's a tough day to sell movie tickets.
Yeah.
Like this, that's what I call this weather. Like it's tough day to sell movie tickets because it's so gorgeous outside and it's gorgeous out for the first time in a while. You know, we've had a lot of rain and gray and windy and
See, that's why you need the mini golf thing because they're here to play mini golf.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're already here. Let's see a movie.
yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think its performance was dampened a little bit by, here's the thing. It made what 30 or 40 million, I think, which exceeded. I think it was projected to make 20, you know, or 25. So first of all, it beat the projections. It may also feel to my team like it's not a massive hit because it was one of those movies where we had 4 shows a day in IMAX, and we had at least 8 shows a day in the regular theater. You know, so you get a good solid audience, but you split them up among 12 showtimes. You know, it might not feel like a super crowded, you know, title, but it was by far and away a number 1 movie for us at all 3 locations. And anyway, let's forget the business. Let's get into the movie. I thought it was, it had its drawbacks. It was not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not going to run screaming, telling people to go watch it. But what I thought about halfway through this movie is I thought, have you ever wondered what it would look like if A24 made a war movie? Now you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this was a war movie that had some incredibly beautiful cinematography, some beautiful shots, you know, a great sort of fresh soundtrack behind it.
Oh, yeah.
But it was also, you know, a solid war movie. You know, stuff gets blown up and guys are shooting at each other and chasing the bad guys. And there's some incredibly tense sequences that are chasing and stressful. And you don't know, some of it was, you know, you could predict, but you don't know which way it's going to go. And there were, I thought it was a really well done, beautiful war movie. It was not, I'm not saying it was like the best.
I agree. It's a really well done war movie. The hard part about it is it's not just that it's here, because a war movie about us being invaded or something would be totally different. This is a war movie about us against us.
But I think A24 did a nice job of keeping it. Like I think we talked on the show before. Like I was worried that it was going to be political.
Yeah,
It was not over. It was not clear to me who were the good guys and who were the bad guys.
Yeah, and I think that I had heard from some of the managers that some people have been calling in, like asking, like, what side does this
Right.
political? And it's hard to look at the movie and think, how could they possibly not swing to one side? But literally, you don't know what the conflict is.
Right.
You don't know what the sides there's. It's America split not just left and right. America's split into 4 different groups.
Right.
In the movie.
And one of the groups joins California and Texas.
Yeah, and so there's California, Texas, there's Louisiana through Florida as the Florida Alliance.
Yep.
There's the original states, which is the Northwest, or the Northeast, and then like the center of the country to Arizona. And then you have the Northwest, which is Michigan over on the top. And the Northwest, like in the movie, the Northwest.
But if you're trying to lay the current political landscape over this movie, you can't. Which is why I think the movie works.
Yeah.
Because if you're left leaning, then you're gonna probably assume that you're with the good guys, and if you're right leaning, you're gonna probably assume you're with the good guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can, whatever your sort of persuasion is, you can go to this movie and feel like you're the good guys.
So it's not, because they really, like, honestly, they really don't get into it.
Right.
The whole movie is following reporters traveling across the Civil War country to get to a story like half country away.
Right.
And racing against time, and then just going through and seeing how the war has affected. Like, they go through a town where there's like a time capsule.
Like nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened. But then they're like, comes with a price, and you look up and you see there's like guards on the roof, and people keep they're doing their thing, and then you have just like they go through areas where it's just like 2 guys fighting, and it's no one really knows what either side is about, and then you have people who might not be with anybody just killing people. So it's really like it's all over. It's hard to watch because, of some of the things that have been happening politically and all that. But at the same time, it was a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so.
Yeah,
I did not find it hard to watch, which is what I was worried about.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not, like, it does make you wonder. Like the press is like on the front lines,
right?
And it's like, would they really let those people just like?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's how you get reporting from the front lines of any war.
I guess so.
I mean, that's the other thing that's like a little bit like eye-opening. It's like, okay, I wish they had, but I'm glad they didn't, because it's a fictional story. It's so fictional, but you kind of wanted something during the end credits that would like pay tribute to real life war journalists.
Yeah.
Because those guys and women, men and women, really put their lives at stake, at risk, to bring the story. I thought it was a fascinating comment when Kirsten Dunst said, "It's not our job to ask the questions. It's our job to take the pictures so that other people can ask the questions."
Yeah.
And I thought that was really insightful, and that sort of gets to the heart of what journalism is. And I don't want to give away the spoiler ending, but you sort of know there's 4 main characters, and you know that some portion of them are going to die. And I came out to refill my coffee and predicted to Jason which ones were going to die, and I was wrong. I was kind of right about one of them, but at the end of the movie, I was wrong. And I thought that was really interesting, and I thought that was a statement from A24 along the lines of like, hey, there's not going to be a Civil War II.
Right.
Like, this is where the story ends.
Just ends.
Yeah.
One of the things I thought was cool is that, like, all the way through it, you're seeing them take these photos, and they show like these powerful war-torn photos, but then at the end, because there is a resolution at the end, but at the end, during the credits, it just shows like the victory poses.
No, it shows one victory pose.
Just one?
It's the same shot, but it gradually over time develops. Like, it starts out, it's almost a totally white screen with some very faint figures in it, and they come slowly into resolution.
Yeah.
And I was going to comment on that because I thought it was really creative and well done. Every movie deals with, when it goes to credits, a different way, but most of the time you've seen it before.
Yeah.
It either completely cuts away from the movie, or it shows the car driving over the hills into the distance, or, it pans over to the sky, or, something like that. But this was just different. It was a photograph that was completely white, and then as it comes more and more into resolution, you see, the pose.
Yeah.
And then it continues, you know, to be darker and darker and darker. And then it goes all black and they do the rolling credits. I thought that was really interesting.
That's
It was the
yeah.
same photo. It was the same
I thought
photo.
it changed, but I did leave before it was over, so I didn't stay for the whole trailer. Come on. Credits. I got places to
I know you're moving and shaking. You're
I'm
a
on a
mover
baseball card.
and a shaker, right? I know. Guys on baseball cards do not have time to watch credits.
That's what I'm saying.
That's common sense.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
All right.
that's fame 101.
So, best movie you ever seen?
Best movie I've ever seen.
Same.
I would like to lodge a complaint with the Penn Cinema podcast.
Hmm.
You know what my problem is?
What's your problem with Penn?
Here's my problem.
With Penn.
I'm going to tell you my problem.
Is it a complaint about the system that we had to make because you can't make good judgment calls?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, David.
It's weird.
As a matter of fact, it is.
It's. I mean, I think it's good. It forces you
Me.
to make a decision.
Right.
Yeah. You can't waffle in the center. I kind of liked it. It's all right. You either loved it
Or you hated it.
or you hate it.
And that's just how it is.
That's just how it is.
Oh my God.
You can't handle it,
I can't.
but you know I'm right.
I know.
Otherwise,
I hate it.
Otherwise, every movie would be, it was okay. I was all right. Like, if it's you're into it, you should go see it. No. You either loved it or you hated it. I got to break you out of the marketing pen.
The system
and
that
give
we
you
created
opinion pen.
because I couldn't get out of the middle. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That, David, is exactly the complaint that I would like to lodge.
Okay. Noted and ignored.
Right. Okay.
All right. What are we talking about next week?
Oh my God. I mean, we got 3 big movies opening. Abigail, the really interesting looking horror movie that you and I reluctantly, but then over time, enthusiastically agreed looks really good. Didn't we? Mm-hmm. And then we also have The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare,
Yeah.
which I think looks really good.
Yeah.
And then we have, I forgot to mention, oh my God. One of the most interesting things at CinemaCon, I'm sorry we're running so late, but
sorry.
one of the most interesting presentations at CinemaCon was the guy from Crunchyroll,
Oh, yeah.
the head guy, and he took the entire Coliseum on Anime 101. Anime is not a genre. You know, and under anime, you have this, and this is what it means in Japanese, and this is the history, and this is the background, and this is what we're doing, and these are the characters you have. And I mean, it was just so insightful and really interesting, and got me super excited for our 3rd title, which opens this week, called Spy Times White Family Code, which is a Spy X White. It's anime, but there's another term for it too, right? Do we just call it anime?
Yeah.
Manga?
Manga is written.
Manga's written, yeah.
That's their comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was really excited, and then I bumped into the guy
Yeah?
on the elevator. We were in the elevator together, and I said, "Hey, you're the dude from Crunchyroll, right?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "I just want to thank you for being here and making that presentation. It was really interesting." And I told him the truth, which is, I said, "You know, I've been playing your content for years because Sony tells me to." You know, but now after hearing your presentation, I'm kind of a little bit more on board.
Yeah.
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 But then I also have to confess something else, just between you and me, David.
What's that? You've never seen it?
Just between us friends.
We watched the.
No, I've seen it.
second one.
I've seen it. And we watched Boy and the Heron. Yeah, we've watched them. I left that presentation that he gave super excited for anime and
Yeah.
just being like the biggest fan. I'm completely on board.
Right.
But now, faced with the choice between Abigail, Ungentlemanly Warfare, or Spy X White, I would definitely watch Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Either of the other ones
Right.
before. Yeah.
Right.
So my question is, what is out the next week?
The following week
Yeah.
is, I forget.
Okay.
Why, you want to choose one? You want to do 2 of these?
Well, I would like to see Abigail and Ministry of
Okay.
Gentlemanly.
So let's do
Warfare.
Abigail this week and Warfare next week and Spy. Or you're saying do Abigail and Warfare this week and then Spy next week.
No, I meant do Abigail this week, Warfare the following, unless there's something
Perfect.
bigger coming out.
Perfect. All right. I'm on board. Abigail.
Okay.
Oh my God. We're going to watch this?
Yeah.
Aren't we
you
gonna
ready?
be? Aren't we gonna be so scared?
I'm gonna wear diapers more than my normal amount.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, David.
All right, so Abigail next week. All right, moving on. Do you want to do listener feedback? We didn't really get much this week.
Well, we just got a nice note from Frodo that said she confirmed,
Yeah.
because I raised the question last week if she invented the phrase "looking for midichlorians,"
That's right.
or if she was like echoing the phrase, and she confirmed that she did, in fact, she does claim authorship.
Wow.
So I took it upon myself because I'm the good guy.
Yeah.
You know, I went down and filed the copyright for her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on her behalf.
Yeah.
So that when it becomes in the universal lexicon, when it lands in the zeitgeist.
Oh,
Is that the right word?
it is.
Did I say right? Yeah.
It-
I've been looking up fancy words. You know, I figure.
Left, right, and center.
Yeah, exactly. So when it lands in the zeitgeist
Hmm.
and everybody's talking about it, I'm going to be able to raise my hand and be like, listen, that's Frodo's line.
Yeah.
You know, I want her, you know, we should just shorten it. Instead of saying looking for midichlorians, we should just say the principle of Frodo. Frodo's Law.
Frodo's Law.
Frodo's Law. That's what we're calling
Yeah,
it.
Frodo's Law.
Yes. And then when somebody asks us what's Frodo's Law, we're going to
Somebody's
reference
searching for midichlorians.
looking for midichlorians.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. And then we got another note
Oh.
from a listener who called me out because I referred to her as, this was a different note.
Yeah.
And I referred to a female writer and said, responded to the email by saying, come on, man, you know, something like
Yeah.
that. And so this writer let me know that when she writes in, she would like to be called, she would like for masculine words not to be applied to her.
To her.
So I apologize for that.
We'll do our best.
It's
it's a
interesting
learning.
because at first I got prickly. I was
Yeah.
like, no, it's not a gender, it's not a masculine gender, and I say it all the time and I have lots of women friends, you know, and my daughters, you know, who use the term guy or man, you know, universally, you know, without gender. And so at first I was like, well, like, no, it's not gender. But then I thought, no. She's not saying I shouldn't use it. This particular writer was saying shouldn't use it when referring to me,
Yeah.
which is a whole different thing.
That's a matter of respect.
Which, first of all, it's a matter of respect, so I apologize and won't do it again. But second of all, it also is like an interesting point. Like, it does raise the question, like, you know, you have to know who you're talking. You should try to know who you're talking to if you're going to be a little loosey-goosey,
Right.
you know, with the gender.
Loosey-goosey.
A little loosey-goosey, which reminds me, one last final comment about CinemaCon. And this is just one tiny, like, little bit of color, is you meet the most interesting people. Like, because you jam yourself into the Coliseum, and you got to get there like a half hour before the slate starts. So 9 times out of 10, you got 30 minutes of making small talk with a stranger sitting next to you.
Right.
I sat next to a filmmaker from Detroit who looked like he was about 12 years old and was one of the strangest, quietest looking little dudes that I ever met in my life. We met a podcaster from Texas
Whoa.
who didn't seem as interested in our podcast as he should have been.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Rude.
He claimed to have never heard of it, which obviously was a lie.
Who has baseball cards?
Right. And then we met a dude from Iowa. Did you even know there were people in Iowa?
I thought it was just potatoes.
Yeah, there was a guy who claims to be a theater
Idaho.
manager who lives in Iowa.
Whoa.
I mean, Iowa doesn't even have potatoes, right?
Yeah. I see. I was even wrong.
Yeah, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There were all kinds of characters, so
Wow.
it was great fun. And anyway, yeah, I wanted to make that last comment.
So we heard about what you've been doing this week.
Yeah.
Nothing else out of that. Just more of the same for me. Discovery, Invincible, X-Men 97. But Fallout came out this week.
Oh boy.
I watched the first episode, and I will be watching more because it seems quite interesting.
Holla!
So that's my recommendation to Penn. Check
What
out
platform is Fallout on?
Fallout is on Amazon. So
Okay.
cool. Well, that's all we have for you this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about Abigail and, of course, a lot of other fun things, I'm sure. Look, if you want to be a part of the show, the number one way to do that is to go ahead and email us, podcast@penncinema.com. But if you want to support the show, Penn, how can people do that?
We're coming at it fresh this week.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times when you ask me what can we do to support the show, I tell some kind of tale about things people are doing
Always true.
Which you're not questioning that.
No.
Right? It's obviously fact.
Yeah.
This week, we're going to start fresh. And I'm going to solicit your input, dear listener.
Oh.
Podcast at pencinema.com. Help us out with a better rating system. Oh, shit!
What?
I brought it up in the show. David shot me down. Now I got free reign, and I'm telling you, give me a better method. He can't stop me now. This is my show. This is my segment. This is my little segment. I say whatever I want, and what I want is input from you for a better rating system.
There is no better rating system. Mister, we're getting a new logo. We need a new rating system. All right. Podcast at pencinema.com if you want to not come up with anything.
Right.
New.
And if you want, if you are, like, for example, one of David's people, and therefore unwilling to help, uninterested in improving the show, if you don't care about the evolution of this to being a better show, just
if you want everything to always be in the center and never good nor bad, this is the way to do it.
Right. If you want to suck like David, if that sounds like you,
wow,
then just tell a friend how much you enjoy the show.
That sounds like me.
There, I said it.
All right, fine.
Done.
Well, once again for the Pen Cinema Podcast,
And I'm Penn Ketchum. Take care and party on.
Thanks for joining us this episode. Our hosts would love to hear from you. To contact the show with your thoughts and reviews, email podcast@pencinema.com. This podcast is a production of Penn Cinema. Escape to the movies at Penn Cinema, featuring crisp digital projection, killer sound, reserved seating, and premium power recliners. With locations in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Wilmington, Delaware, and Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. Showtimes and tickets available at www.penncinema.com.
Nice. That was awesome. Good. Yeah. Great. I'm happy.
It's a cut.